Hello, hello, welcome. Happy retrograde Mercury. Congratulations with first spring day. Yes, spring is coming. I even feel it here in our warm Florida. Finally, we have warm days. The cold is behind us. So, hello everybody, and today we're talking about how to get a billionaire man. Now, this video probably will be for ladies who are very ambitious. So, not everybody wants to have a billionaire man. Not everybody wants to have like this kind of. Not everybody wants to be a socialite, to be the center of the attention. Like me, for example, I never really wanted the super rich man. I wanted a man who is very comfortable, who is generous, but I really didn't care whether he's a billionaire or not. Now, why I didn't say a millionaire boyfriend? Because everybody who has something is a millionaire already. The inflation is huge, so I guess this is just the average man. So I'm talking about men who are very wealthy, who are not just wealthy, who are influential. And if you are one of those women who want to have a man like this, I mean, I applaud to you first. And second, it's very possible. I'm going to give you steps of what needs to be done, what you should look into to get such a man. Now, I had a couple clients who were ambitious like that, and they wanted to have men like this. And one of them was very successful. Fortunately, she was married to one. And another one, she changed her mind halfway through the journey to get this kind of man. Now, both of them were very put together. I wouldn't lie. They had to adjust themselves a little bit, but this is absolutely possible. Now, why? So these steps are good to get any man, but particularly billionaire man. Now, a millionaire. This is a man that are average. By the age of 40, a man should have $1 million. I mean, it's not that much. So anybody who has a decent house or an apartment is a millionaire. I think I live in a building surrounded by millionaires. So this is just an average kind of people. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get to the billionaire kind of journey. So again, this video might not be for everybody, but listen if you want to. As I said, for me, it was not, I only decided to talk about this because I was asked to. So, like me, I never really looked into this life, but I know how to get there, you see. And I think if I would decide to, I would be able to get into this life. And if you think, oh, but you need to be young and beautiful and this and that, yeah, no, maybe not. All right. So the first thing that you need, if you want to have a billionaire man, you need to forget about dating sites. So even the most exclusive dating sites, you can forget about them. Billionaires don't sit on dating sites. And from my previous career, I knew quite a few women and men who were very wealthy, and you would be surprised, but they were matched. So they were married through a matchmaker or somebody who matched them with somebody else. Now, why would you would not see men like this on dating sites? You will see millionaires on dating sites, but not billionaires. Why? Because first of all, they have a particular reputation. Second, they need somebody from their own circle, so they are not going to be just looking for something they are not even acquainted. They are not going to socialize with women that can jeopardize their reputation, kind of like this. So where can you find those men now? uh, I'm uh, I'm somewhat opposed to the idea of go to a fancy hotel, sit there and drink coffee, because there are a lot of men who are also there drinking coffee in hopes to hook up with somebody. So you need to go somewhere where those men are. Like they say, if you want the king of the jungle, you need to go to the jungle. So when I was writing this, I was thinking, I was sitting on my balcony and I saw, so there is a racing stadium, like maybe, I don't know, a mile away from me. And you can see at night there is a lot of light. So I was looking at it, and a couple times a year, so it's a horse racing, and they have those races there every single weekend. So I go there. Now, a few times a year, they have like big events, like really I'm not really into horse racing, but still, they have big events, and they do have like really wealthy kind of families come over with their horses. I mean, they participate. So it's usually the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I guess Sunday they just they're finishing this. So it happens a few times a year. And when I first moved here, a couple times I went to these big events. And you know what? All those men who are there with their horses, I mean, they're all very wealthy, and not only very wealthy, they usually come from a very prominent families. I'm talking about the like the winning horses, like really not all the horses that participate, but some. So those those men are very wealthy, very influential. And if you are there, it's not like they're behind some kind of glass. They're all there, they're all mingling. So you can really meet and talk to somebody. You see, I'm just not into farms. I'm not into horses. And if you are with a man like this, you have to make it your life. So I never really looked into making like becoming acquainted with one of those men. Now, so what else do they do, those men? I mean, they obviously go to lunches and dinners around here, so you can easily meet them there, spot them there, and talk to them. So you need to be present. Now, there is also this, not far from me here, there is a diplomat resort, and the same, they are hosting a lot of events, like really expensive events. Again, if you want, you can, if somebody would want to, if I would want to beg somebody, I would go there. Because it's open for everybody, so you can stay there, you can dine there. It's like you can go to the bar just to sit there. But again, this is where really wealthy men are. So you need to be in their circle, not just hanging out pretending, but also um, being interested in that circle where he is. If I would be very much into horses, it will be much easier for me to converse with those men. Now, if I have no clue about horses, about racing, and I'm just over there I probably would not catch that man at all of his attention. You see, so this is important. Now, if you are absolutely hopeless, or you do not live anywhere where there is any kind of events going on, then you need to hire a matchmaker, but not just any matchmaker. So in my life, I knew 3 women that were married to billionaires that I think are still married to them. 3 of them used matchmakers. Now, I know only how much one of them spent, because she was my client, so I kind of knew it. But I know it was a very large amount of money. So she spent, I think, the first one that I knew spent almost $7,000. $7,000. It was 20 years ago. It was a large amount of money for just meeting a man. No guarantees given. Now, but a client of mine, she spent, I think, over 24,000 on something like that. So now, if you're hopeless, but you want to, matchmaker is the way to go. But be so you need to remember something. Matchmakers don't take everybody, especially matchmakers like this. Why? Because those men, they want a particular kind of woman, and if you are not matching at least a little bit those criteria, they won't even take you. So matchmakers are exclusive like that. If these are good matchmakers, if they have good clientele base, so you like, don't think that you will pay and it's their honor to kind of to find you somebody. You really need to match. A good matchmaker will tell you whether there is possibility for you or not. Like, for example, one of my clients, she actually was declined by 2 of matchmakers. They wouldn't take her because of her non-traditional appearance. So she wanted a really wealthy, influential man, but she was not looking apart, not even close. And so the matchmakers were honest with her, and they thankfully didn't even take her money. They could have, but you see, matchmakers, they really are good like that. They're honest. So if you want to have somebody like this, if you want to be introduced to a man like this, you need to find a matchmaker who is really good, who has these clients. Usually those matchmakers, you wouldn't find them on Facebook or anywhere else. It's a word of mouth. You need to find somebody who knows somebody who is like this. So, or they could approach you if you're in the right circle. So if you're always hanging out in this kind of, I don't know, you go to dinner in West Palm Beach all the time and they see you and you're always single, maybe they can approach you. So like that. Now, you also need to be ready that you might that man is not going to be from your city, and you probably will need to relocate. All three of those women that I know, they all relocated because those billionaires were living their life. Two of them are in Texas. So again, but this is the way how to find a billionaire man. It's not through dating sites. You will never find a billionaire through dating sites. How do I know? Because I've been on dating sites. Sometimes I even go in here and there. I also had clients, and I know that they would never even do that. It's not because they're snobs. It's because their reputation depends on a lot of things, and they are venting people who they're socializing with before they do something serious. It sounds very kind of 50 Shades of Grey, but it's not. It's reality, and you must understand that that is what it is. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is you might not. No, Ryan, no. Ryan is good to meet somebody who is a wannabe, or somebody who is like a wannabe DJ or somebody. There's really no billionaires there. Maybe a couple tech millionaires, but no. I mean, I have quite a few. I have a couple of friends, a few clients. Nobody dated anybody half decent on that app. I don't know really why it's so noisy. And anybody can get in. Like if I get an invitation, I can get in. And what am a celebrity? I mean, so it's really, I think, Luxy also there was. No, it's really not that. All right. So the second one, matchmaker is the way to go. Yes, you will pay, but you will get. I never knew anybody who got a matchmaker and didn't get a man. So, and matchmakers are usually honest up front. They tell you what needs to be done. They tell a man what he needs to give you. So it's like a arbitrator between you and the man. So if I would want a billionaire man, that's what I would do. I would save up if I need to save up, or I would dig into my saving. I would pay the matchmaker, and I would go this route. I'm not going to be this is just not the way. You will get exhausted with these apps unless you want some entertainment. Then it's different. Or you want a man who is just a regular man, then yeah. But I wouldn't even go to on Raya. These are all wannabes. Everybody who wants to be somebody. Like, all right. So the second one is appearance is the key. Okay, it sounds bad, but look, it is what it is. You shouldn't need for the stars. You need to be at least somewhat like a star. And I'm not talking about you being bright and super skinny and all this. When I'm talking about appearance, I'm talking about especially when it's in the start. You will be a presentation of that man, and you need to look apart. You see, you will be a representation of his life, of his success, of his circle kind of friends. You need to look somewhat like him. If you are dating a man who is from a very conservative circles, who made his money in kind of old-fashioned way, through I don't know, some real estate company or something. So he needs somebody who looks like that, like old money. You could not be flashy, all the plastic around you, and hope to be with that man. You could be as an entertainment for a little bit, but not for a long time. So I know it sounds bad. And as I told you, one of my clients was a little bit like that, and she had to change certain things because her ambition to get that man were more than her idea of being like all made up. So she had to change certain things. And if you watch that series Inventing Anna, about that girl in New York that was conning rich companies and the banks. One of the things that she had to change was her hair color, because with her blonde hair she looked cheap, and she had to be hanging out with the serious crowd. You have to look serious. You could not be. I mean, you can be blonde, but you need to look decent. It has to be well kept kind of hair. So, anyways. And over here, you will be presentable not only for the yacht, but also for family events. You have to be presentable. So some women, and I know I live in Miami, some women think that as long as I'm beautiful, as long as I have a perfect figure, that's enough. No, that's not enough. That's not even close to enough. This is enough to be an entertainment for an event for him for a couple of days. That's all. You don't want to be that. You want to marry that guy or to date him for some time. You don't want to be, you don't want to pass around from him to his friends and around. This is not what we're looking here for. So you really need to be presentable. I put over here, men like this don't just look for beauty, they look for style, confidence, posture, elegance, no obnoxious clothing and vulgar manners. Now, on the other, and you can tell me, well, there are men who love women that they would build up from the bottom up. Yeah. So those men are usually hurt. They are looking for a project, for a daughter figure. So they want somebody, they want to put her together. And after that, she's going to be sitting in the gold cage. She won't be able to do anything because she depends on him. So no, I mean, be that woman before you meet him. It's always safe to be somewhat conservative, to play safe, so to say. Be careful with I have nothing against botoxes and surgeries, but play it safe. I have nothing against hair extensions, but they have to look decent. They have to match you somehow. I have nothing against some ladies wear the wigs, the whatever, and I have nothing against those, but they make sure that they look natural, but I'm all for naturality, because men like this, they always go for womanhood natural. It's better if you would have a little wrinkles, a little gray hair here and there. Maybe your skin is not as the tightest, but at least you would look natural and confident in your own skin. He would not be ashamed to introduce you to his family, to his cousins, to I don't know, to his employees. He would be proud of you, because aging is natural. Looking like a crazy doll is not natural, you see. And this is a man like this is usually very confident. He needs a woman who is very confident. And if your confidence depends on your plastic surgeries, then it's not confidence, really. So again, I have nothing against it, but if you want to have a man who is taking you seriously, then you need to look like his circle. You have to look like them. You have to. There's just no other way. He's not going to be fighting you if you are not looking like his circle of that he's hanging out with, that he grew up with. He would be entertained for a little bit, but how long is it going to last? I mean, just think about that. And you don't want to waste your time and your energy on something that wouldn't work. So again, for this man, you will become a symbol of his wealth, of his company, and he needs to know you can pull it together. Also, I need to mention here, please, no tattoos, no vulgar clothing, loud clothing, no vulgar makeup, no too much, like, make sure that you have it, limit surgeries a little bit. It would be much better if you will have a simple conservative style, than you would be all over the place and you wouldn't even belong to yourself. You can smell the confidence from far away. As I told you from my previous career, I had a colleague and he told me once, he said, why I can always know when there are rich clients in the facility. I always know that they're very rich. How could they pull it together? They are never flashy. They're always quiet. How? And I know how. They're always dressed conservatively. It's always somewhat expensive material, so they wouldn't wear some kind of cheap stuff. And then they have this kind of strength inside of them, and that's what draw people to them. Not flashiness, but the strength inside. So if you want to be with this man, you have to manage. And from what I heard, I never worked with matchmaker, but from what I heard, this is what matchmakers look at first. What are you? No crazy kind of long nails. The nails has to be somewhat decent. You could not be too big, because again, you're representing the person. You have to look healthy. You could not be unhealthy, skinny, again, for the same reason. What is your problem? Are you on some kind of substances or something? You have to have somewhat natural. Even if you're coloring hair, it has to be somewhat naturally. If you use makeup, use it, but it has to go good with you. Again, nothing too loud. So like this, I mean, I think everybody knows this, but it's just how it is. Also the tattoos. I mean, if you have some obvious tattoos somewhere, maybe, or somewhere on your arms or something, cover them. yes, I know for you they mean something, but okay, I'm sorry, but they're a little trashy. I'm sorry, it's not my words. I actually like tattoos, but this is just how it is. I remember some guy. He gave me this compliment when I was in Mexico in Playa del Carmen. There's a lot of women, and they all have tattoos all over. It's like I don't know what's the epidemic there, especially the Argentinian ladies. I don't know, is it that famous? They're popular. And he's like, you look so expensive because you don't have tattoos. I'm like, really? Surprising. You never heard a compliment like this, but it is what it is. So again, what if I have braces? Well, braces, it's normal. I mean, you're taking care of your health. It's not forever. So that's actually good. That's natural, you see. So braces are fine. Again, you see, if you're playing for something big, you have to make sacrifices, and those sacrifices have to be serious. If you This is why I'm telling you, it's like I'm advertising matchmakers, but if you work with a matchmaker, she will tell you what you need to change. She will be like, she will be cruel, like really cruel. I'm very nice, but she will be cruel. Like she told my client, you need to lose at least 50 pounds, don't even bother me until you will get to the normal shape. And look, this is good that she was so honest. It motivated my client so much, because she has that big goal. She wants that man. Not a particular man, but a man who is like this. She's masculine and she's very ambitious. So she probably will get one like this. All right. So this is important. Second one, the appearance. Yes, it sounds like, oh, very like not very deep. I know, I understand, but it is what it is. A man likes with his eyes. What am I going to do here? If you want to have a man like this, you will have to. You have to look like he wants you to look. Just like make it your style. Let it be so. I mean, you just don't show too much of your body. Don't flash too much. If you have your boobs open, I mean, close your legs. It's not, like I think it's pretty normal. Take some etiquette lessons like I did a few years back. I was doing it just for myself, but it's always helpful. Hire yourself a stylist. There's stylists all over. I mean, there's really not much investment for something that big. Even if you will not get the billionaire, you probably will get a seriously wealthy man, maybe a multimillionaire who will be also in those circles. So you will get somebody. It will get you somewhere. All right. So the third one, so this is important. I think from all of them, this one is the most important, since I'm an energy worker. I think this is pretty important. So a man who is a billionaire, so he probably was brought up in a very wealthy family. Billionaires just don't be just a regular man will not become a billionaire. It's very rare. So usually it is a man who were brought up in a wealthy family already, and then they make extra kind of wealth on their own. So these are men who are always getting whatever they have, whatever they want. They want a new toy, they get new toy. So they always have. They are used to getting whatever they want. Now they not only get used to get whatever they want, they know that they can buy whatever they want. So, and because they're probably wealthy and influential, people are usually give them whatever they want. So women are usually ready to be with them. So they are so used to that. Now usually these men value in their life something that they could not have, or something that they might lose. This is what is important, you see. Now, and I think one of my clients, not my clients now, but one of my clients from prior from my business, when I had a business, a limousine business, she was like that. She was ready to get married to somebody very wealthy. She was wealthy herself. She was not a poor woman at all. So she was pretty wealthy herself. I would say she was a millionaire herself. Yeah, I think multimillionaire. And she was not putting up with any kind of nonsense that men were giving her, because she was determined to get married to a man who would value and appreciate her. So she was valuing herself very much. Now, if anybody would not, no matter how wealthy he was, no matter how influential he was, she was just not taking it. So she was valuing herself more than she was valuing that potential that he could have given her. So this is what you need to do if you want to be with a man like this. And I know it's hard, because usually when there is a rich man in your life, you're like ready to do anything for him just so he can stay happy with you. you need to value yourself more than the life that he's promising you, or the life that you think you will have once you will be with him, his lifestyle. um like I said, a man who has everything, who can afford anything, only afraid of what he can lose. You see, there's really no limit for a man like this. But if he can lose you, that's a fear, you see, because if he will lose you, I mean, no money can really buy you back. So now, um yeah, I put over here, um I see it again and again with women who go on couple dates with really wealthy men, and then they stop having their own lives. They stop valuing themselves. They start, uh, and this is not actually with billionaires. I see it. Women do it with just men who are just a little bit wealthy, and they just basically, because they're so not used to this, they basically do everything he will say. They don't have no more suggestions, no more oppositions, no more negotiating, nothing. It's just like they stop living their life and start living his life, and they start valuing him and his lifestyle instead of their own life and their own lifestyle. So this is important. You want to have a wealthy man, you have to be at least wealthy with your own value. This is crucial. um, it's crucial for any kind of relationship, for any kind of man. Any man that you would be with, you need to make sure that he knows that he can lose you. You know, masculinity is like this. If you're staying with the man, he believes that you're absolutely happy. He needs to know that, and if you will be like happy and completely devoted to him, he will almost give up on you. You know, like a piece of chair for him. So he needs to know, any man needs to know that he can lose you, especially a wealthy man. It's not like you shouldn't be pulling jealousy out of him, you shouldn't disrespect him, but you need to know that if something is off, you know, you will move on. Like that client of mine, she was basically, yeah, 1 foot out of the door, absolutely. Like that client of mine, she was on the first date, she was telling the guys, my goal is, so she gave herself a goal. She was not young at all, she was, I think, in her late 40s. So just so you know, in her late 40s, she got herself a billionaire man from Texas. Her stone was like this. I never saw nothing huge like that. So, and she was telling, my goal is to marry within half a year. She was telling them, and she was telling, you know, let me know if this is not your plan. She was like really, really, when she was telling me the stories, I was really, when I was super young at that time, I was really admiring her. I always knew that this would be my to-go plan. If I will not marry well, you know, at one point, I will go to a matchmaker. And her example, she said, all my friends married like this, and all her friends are very wealthy. So this is what you need to do. You need to value yourself more than you value his lifestyle, more than you value an idea about being with him. Because if he will know that you will not value, and he will not value you, remember, he's just a reflection. All right. So the next one is, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to be knowledgeable about something besides shopping and the surgeries. And so you could not be shallow with a man like this. Why? Because a man like this is usually somewhat smart in something. You know, a man does not become billionaire just because. There must be some kind of strength in him, some kind of knowledge in him. And I always tell you, don't base your relationship on knowledge, but you need to have some kind of interest and knowledge in yourself. Let me give you an example. I was traveling, and as you know, I love history. I love history just like I love energy very much. And nobody pays me for studying history. I'm just curious like that. I love it. I always look for history anywhere I go. I mean, I always find it. I always research it. So I was with this guy. We were on a date, and I was telling him. So we were on a date. We were just talking, and when I started talking about history, like there is no limit for me. You know, I know a lot, and I speak a lot. So. And I was telling him about history of his country, certain maybe unknown kind of facts. And I think that guy, he already was mesmerized by me. But when I start talking like this and I speak passionately about something that I like, I think he was done. He was seriously in love with me. He still is, I think, honestly, because of that, because of my passionate kind of knowledge. I did not try to impress him. I did not try to flatter him talking about his country. I did not try to kind of get on his good side. I was just talking. I had the knowledge I wanted to share. I was interesting at that moment, you see, and that's why he liked me so much. Now, it was just lucky for him that I was talking about his country. I couldn't talk about something else. I mean, there's history everywhere. So you need to be passionate and knowledgeable about something in life. You need to be um, intelligent. I don't know how to explain this. I'm not talking about having an education. Having an education is always good. Why? Because again, you are a representation of something. Nobody wants to tell that, oh, a wife of this guy never even graduated from high school. Who wants to hear this? So to have bachelor's or master's at least is decent. It just makes you more eligible. But besides that, I mean, I have degrees, couple of them, but that's not what makes me interested in intelligence. What makes me intelligent is my love for particular topics, and I can speak about them again and again, on and on and on, with different people, you see. And history is usually a go-to topic because I love it and it's safe. If energy is not always safe, because some people are like, what are you in? But history is always safe. The history, a little politics, like that. So a man like this, a billionaire, a powerful man, influential man, he needs somebody who understands his world, who is knowledgeable, and who is knowledgeable about his world as well. So if you know something about, I don't know, stock market, about real estate in your particular city, maybe if you are dating the guy who is doing who grows the racing horses, maybe you know something about. Actually, the first time I went, I read the whole history on this racing, and about different types of horses, and the famous ones, and all this. So if I would be into one of this man, I mean, this is what I would share with him. So you need to know something about his life. Would be very strange if you would completely clueless and he would be like, oh, okay, that's fine. It doesn't work like this. Again, if a man is looking for a daughter and he's just liking how stupid she is, okay, maybe. But for the majority of the time, a man like this just wants a woman who is smart, who is knowledgeable, who is intelligent, who is educated. And you have to become that. Whether you want it or not, you have to become that. And if you know throughout the history, I mean, all those geishas, courtesans, and everybody, they were very knowledgeable. They spent time reading, writing, expanding their mind just to be on the same kind of foot where the man is. You don't need to be exactly into his. So if he's, I don't know, a space engineer, you don't need to know everything about that, but you need to know something about something. Now, why would you need that? Because most of the time, men are afraid that they will become a center of your life if you don't have nothing that interests you. You will be bored, and when a woman is bored, a woman is looking for problems. So you need to occupy your mind with something, so then you can occupy your life with something. Everybody wants to date an interesting person, not just a puppy who will just follow them around. Over here I put, I will give an example. So I'm not a billionaire man, obviously, but a long time ago, I liked this guy. I still lived in New York, and this guy was very handsome, tall, handsome, but he just recently came from his country, so he didn't know anything about the US, about the culture here, about what you need, what you don't need. So even though I liked him very much, I didn't see myself dating him because he didn't know nothing about the credit history. He didn't know about anything about the taxes, about how you need to kind of about how you can create a company and write off a lot of things. So there were like he was absolutely clueless about everything. And thank you. And it turned me off. You know why? Because it's either I have to wait a few years until he will catch up with all of this, or I will have to teach him, and I don't want to be a mother to him. So that's what it is, you see. And I'm not a millionaire man. I'm just at that time especially, I was just a regular girl, just wanted to date somebody who's hot. But you see, his hotness did not do much because he was not knowledgeable. He was not knowledgeable about the life that I'm living. He was not knowledgeable about the life in the US. And and I couldn't. I just didn't want to date somebody like him. So you have to be knowledgeable about something, passionate about that something that you're knowledgeable about, and be able to hold a conversation with pretty much everybody, not to be clueless, like if you are right now going for lunch and everybody's talking about the recent war between Israel, Iran, and US, I guess, and you don't even know that it's happening, it would be very strange, kind of. Even if you are not into politics, I mean, everybody should be a little bit aware of things that's going on, right? But this is important. A billionaire man will not let it slide. A millionaire will, because sometimes millionaires only want like a pretty girl next to them. They're themselves a little shallow, so they usually want somebody who is not very deep as well. A billionaire is often not shallow. They want somebody who is deep, not somebody who is just pretty. If you want a man like this, you would need to become knowledgeable. Even this client of mine, the first one, she was an attorney. She was not practicing attorney, but she was knowledgeable. She had education, she had background. She actually, I don't think she was ever practicing because she was married before. She always lived off her husband, but she had something to show for herself. Now, my other two that were working with matchmakers, they're both professionals as well. Again, neither of them are working on their within their professional field, but they both professionals. They have something to show themselves. They have a variety of hobbies. They're knowledgeable about this and that, so they are interesting. You see, even if you're not working, you're still interesting. It's like huge aphrodisiac. Now, you don't need to talk about all this kind of everything but you need to be able to hold a conversation. All right. So the next one is a little contradictory. So the next two, and it comes to money. So the next two will be don't beg for anything and check in for generosity. And yeah, I know they sound, most of them sounds like Anastasia, make up your mind. Let me explain you something. And this is very close to me. And I think you should act this way with every single man, not just with billionaires, but with billionaires especially. So usually men who are very wealthy, influential, they date women who are on the same level as them or somewhat on the same level. So they're not dating some kind of broke women who never saw nothing good in their life. Usually they date somebody who has a somewhat decent life. So if a woman will start begging for little things from the start, it would be very low class. I don't know, very, very cheap, So you will get something like this. You will, but it will not last. It will be short lived. And I had a client in my present career like this. She was very ambitious, and but she had a lot of fire in her. She was not patient enough, and I told her you need to be patient with men like this. She was very attractive, and she still is. But what she was doing, she was rushing things in. A man would give her a gift, and she would ask for the next one again, again, again. It's like never satisfied with anything, and they would leave her like little by little. And I told her, you see the mistake? You're doing the same thing, patterns after patterns. But her that gain in the moment was more important than gain in the long term. But she was also very young at that moment, so I understand. She wanted to play instead of planning a kind of a future with the man. So if you will start begging him for something from the start, it will never be consistent. Now, you need to create a feeling of, I would love that, and I'm going to buy myself that. But if you want, I can allow you to get it for me, kind of like that. But it's absolutely not necessarily, because I'm going to get it myself anyways. In that way, he starts competing with you, with your masculinity inside. Who is going to get that something that you want faster? Your masculinity or him, you see? And a man like that always wants to win. So he will jump on the opportunity and he will go and get it for you. Now, it always has to be somewhat like, well, I'm not sure, I kind of like it. Yeah, I think I will get it, like that. It's not like you're not desperate. You're just speaking out loud, like, I would love to, I'm thinking of getting it. Like, for example, I was looking at this. Actually, I was talking to a man just somewhat similar like this a couple months ago. I found this little town, and I was watching a movie, and the movie took place in a little town in the south of France, but not one of those Canes or Nice, not one of those famous ones, but the one inside more. I think it's Ox de Provence, something like that. Something with A starts. But anyways, and so I liked it so much. I researched. I'm like, so beautiful, looks so cute. Everything. Like all that little French small town kind of vibe. And I'm like, I was talking to the guy. I was on a date, and I started talking to him, and I said, I really want to go there. It looks so cute. It's almost like not real. And I said, I think if I decide to travel again, this is where I will go. This is where I will go. And so months later, he's asking me, did you decide to travel? Are you, do you think you will go? And I'm like, not sure yet. I said, why? And he's like, well, I was looking into it. We can go if you want. I will take a couple of weeks off, and I can take you there. We can explore together. You see? Again, I was not. I was just speaking out loud, and I said that I will go there regardless, with him or without him. Now, if I would approach it differently, and I would be like, "Oh, please, please, please take me there, please. Everybody goes there. I need to go there." That would be very cheap. It's like I'm begging him for something. Like what is it? What am I, a little girl that could not afford nothing? It doesn't do. He knows that now I depend on him, so he can dangle this trip as a carrot in front of me. So again, with men like this, you need to be smart, especially if you are hoping for the future. You could not be spoiling it with little presents, a little bag, a little bracelet from from Cartier. That's what you're going to sell yourself for these couple things. I mean, if you want to get the billionaire man, you have to play big. You could not settle for little things and be happy with that. I mean, be happy with them, but this is not the goal. A small bracelet, I mean, you can get it from an average guy around. So again, you need to do not do that. Do not spoil that, and matchmakers will tell you that. Now, on the other hand, you need to make sure that he's generous. Now, this is where it's good when you have a matchmaker, because the matchmaker will do the research for you, and the matchmaker will be on your side and will tell him that he needs to spend if he doesn't spend. That doesn't usually happen, but still. But you don't want to be with the man who is extremely wealthy and who is extremely stingy. You don't want that. Like I think the first Rockefeller was extremely stingy. His kids and his wife, or I think his wife died from malnutrition. Because she didn't have they were eating the same kind of, I think, gruel or something, so all the time, and he was very like counting every single penny. So you don't want a man like this. You need to make sure that that the man you date is actually somewhat a spender. Otherwise, you will be sitting in a gold cage, a cage that wouldn't give you nothing at all. So now, how do you check that? I put over here. You don't want to waste time dating someone who feels like his presence is more than enough. That's true. A lot of times this wealthy man, they believe that just because they they allow you into their life, that's already more than enough, and that's not true. Never true. Please remember this. It's like women who believe just because I'm beautiful, that's enough. Yeah, maybe, but not all the time. So you and make sure you are not. Remember, in the relationship, you are not looking for charity. You are not with the man because he's so generous that he gave his attention to you. It's not like this. We're looking for equal partner. An equal partner, yes, maybe he's extremely rich, but you bring in something else. If you on his, if you guys match an energetic, then you must be bringing something big. So you must remember this all the time. Just because a man is wealthy doesn't mean you are not good enough for him. You are, otherwise you would never be even matching. So maybe you bring in a very strong energy, or maybe very feminine energy that he's missing. maybe you bring in some kind of ideas or inspiration, or maybe you're super artistic and he kind of likes that in you. So again, do not believe that you are a charity case. You never are. If you guys are socializing right now, then you energetically you are matching. So his presence is not enough, um, so how to check? Observe how what he does with money. Observe how he spends. Observe whether he spends at all. Observe how he parts with money. Observe what he say. So if he bought you something and then he's like reminding you every half an hour that he bought you something, then it's kind of strange, right? For any man, not just for him. Observe whether he is doing any kind of charity work, real charity work, not you, and just whether he's smart with money or not. Observe whether there's balance in his life. So he might be having like the fanciest mansion on the block, but then he's I don't know, but then he has the cheapest polyester sheets from Walmart or something. So his life is usually men like this. Their life is very balanced. They're spenders. As I said, they come from usually rich environments. So it's not they used to kind of to be spenders. But just observe. Once in a while you will get one of those cheap guys, and you don't want to be stuck with that. Now, also observe whether he spends only on you. So he might be dragging you around the world, showing you here and there, but then you tell him, listen, I need to pay a credit card. And he's like, well, it's not my problem. Make sure that he does spend on something that's only yours. So if he pays your electricity bill, this is just an example. Obviously, with the man like this, you're not going to be talking about electricity. But if a man pays your electricity bill, he doesn't live in your apartment, he never even visits you, it has nothing to do with him, but he does. That means that he really cares for you. See, when he does something just for you, so with no reference to him at all. And you can check a man like this. For example, you can say something like, I want to send my mom a present for her birthday, and he's like, oh, let me buy it for her. Then yeah, that's a good thing. Or maybe not your mom, maybe my friend is getting engaged, I want to send her something, so let him. If he is buying, you see that he's trying to kind of to impress the people around you. Now, if he tries to put some kind of guilt on you that he's spending money, or he needs constant validation about it, would be better if you would leave him right away. Don't think that you can change a grown-up man into something different. You wouldn't be, especially a man like this. Again, those men come from a very wealthy upbringing. He is already super successful. He would not listen to your you trying to change him. He will change you, and this is what will happen. He will put you in this gold cage if you will agree to that, and you will never see a penny out of him. Everything he will buy you will be on his terms. He will buy you bags the bags that he wants. He will buy you the clothes that he wants, and you will be wearing and doing what he's telling you, because you wouldn't have a dollar to your name. And this would be very, very bad. So you need to leave a man who is stingy, or who is spending but always puts guilt on you, always reminds that you are kind of his charity case. You need to leave him right away. No matter, leave the diamonds with him. Leave it. You will see. I know 2 women here in Miami. I'm personally acquainted with them. They live in those gold cages. It is a terrible life, to the point, and they're wives, and they are not married to billionaires. One of them probably is. Another one is just married to a very wealthy man, like maybe multimillionaire. But they live in these golden cages, and they could not do nothing whatsoever. One of them was, last time I saw her, she mentioned, so she wants to go visit her parents, and he does not allow her to go visit her parents. Just imagine this. So she needs to ask him to go visit her parents. Can you imagine? I mean, where is the equal partners part in where is this part? Like, it's like we're missing something. They're not equal partners. It's like, I don't want to say, but it sounds like like a slavery was a very good kind of cover. So she looks okay. I mean, she has all the designer bags, all the designer jewelers. She has all the nice clothes, but again, she did not choose none of that. All that was his. He chose those bags. He chose the clothes. He came up with particular style for her. And I understand why she stays with him, because she's nobody. She hardly speaks English. She has no profession, nothing. I think he picked her for this particular reason. Yes, she is beautiful, but empty inside and very scared. And I understand without him, she is nothing for the most part. So again, do not be in her position. This is the wrong way to get a billionaire man. You'll be miserable. How long are you going to live like this? So the second one, I think the situation is a little better, but still, for the most part, without him, she could not do nothing, not even sneeze. But yeah, this is wrong, obviously, and you have they have no life, no hobbies. I put over here, they wear the clothes that the man choose, accessories the same. So it's a very tight golden cage. For me, honestly, I'm talking about this and I'm already scared. So do not change your freedom, your life, your ambitions for a man. Adjust yourself. If you're dating a billionaire man, you will have to adjust yourself. That's a must, obviously. If you're dating any man, you will have to adjust a little bit, but do not lose yourself. You are equal partners again. You could not be asking him, can I go see my parents? This is strange, very strange. Okay. And the last one. No, not the last one. Almost the last one. So the next one is, do not under any circumstances, I guess this is one comes from the previous one, do not under any circumstances dissolve in this man. This is the biggest mistake. I see it often. I see it with my clients. Who are dating not even wealthy man, but when they are dating a little wealthy man, they dissolve. A man says, let's go to France. You want to go to dinner? Yeah, let's go to dinner. It's like a woman stops having life completely. She postpones everything. It's like she's so hungry for that attention that she's ready to forget on her life and just live his life, because his life looks so much more glamorous than her own, you see. And this is the biggest mistake, because it turns man off very, very fast. Why? Because a man wants to date an individual. He doesn't want to date somebody who just follows him like a puppy. You need to have a life. A man wants to know that he's somewhat chasing you a little bit. If he is not, then I don't know. Then why would he be with her? I put over here. Remember, we are not accessories. We are energetically equal partners. A man will always respect a woman who doesn't need him but allows him in her presence. And that's why women energy of air are such an amazing gold diggers, because they never get attached too much. They never need nobody too much. And men, they constantly want to impress them, and they constantly try to do something for them just so they can win them over. Now, don't be always like women energy of air. Don't be like this snow queen that doesn't like nobody, that doesn't want to get attached to nobody. Don't, because this constant chases get tiring after a while. But do be firm with your life. If you're dating a wealthy man and he's telling you, I'm going to this festival, you want to come with me, and you're like, oh my God, I can't miss out on that. But yet you have some kind of plans, tell him, listen, I would love to, but it's a little short notice. I could not really live, I have things I need to do. And don't feel bad that you are missing out. Don't, you do have a life. Continue living it. That would make you more attractive than if you will be like, oh yes, sure, what time are you picking me up? Like, it's no, I'm telling you from my clients, this is the biggest mistake they do. I did this mistake, and I was not dating a billionaire man. It's just the man that I liked very much. I wanted to spend every single minute with him. So no matter what, like I remember he had 3 hours off or something. It was his day off. He was doing something in the morning. Then he had like a free time, and then he was going out with his friends. So me, to spend time with him, I left work just to spend those few hours with him. How pathetic is that a little bit? So again, don't do that. Man can feel that. Don't become that desperate. Don't dissolve. Do not dissolve in anybody. You will lose your identity. A man will lose interest in you. We are liking particular people because they are themselves. If you lose that, it's what to like. That there's nothing to like. A shell, it's empty. So do not, under any circumstances, lose. And if you think, oh my God, I will lose, I will miss out on this particular on this opportunity of going with him to, I don't know, somewhere. Look, what is it? The last time you will go with him next year, if it's particular festival, you will go with him, somewhere else. If the man is really interested, he will be inviting you again and again. And next time he will do it in advance, so you can make plans, you can adjust your life a little bit. He will respect you more for that. So this is very important. Do not ever start betraying yourself. You start betraying yourself, a man will betray you much faster and much deeper. So do not do that. And again, I understand when you are dating a wealthy man, he's showing you a different kind of life. He's taking you here and there. It's like you believe like you're in a fairy in a fairy tale, and you believe, oh my God, I can't believe this is me and this is my life. I understand all this, but energy has to raise like this, not like this. If it starts raising like this, you will fall very, very fast, because energy, when it's raising, it has always to fall back a little bit to go up. It has to rebalance itself, and this is only a natural way. If you will like go straight up, you will fall, and it would be painful. So don't do that. Don't believe that you're missing out. You're not missing out. If you were able to attract this man, you will attract other men. If you were able to socialize with him now, you will be able to socialize with him again. So just because you're not going with him somewhere, like to go ski, or I'm not sure where these days people are going, it's fine. You will go to the next event with him. Just don't feel regret. If you feel regret, he will feel it. You need to feel like your life is amazing with him or without him. Like, have a goal. I'm going to marry a billionaire. This is the goal. Going to particular festival is not the goal. This is just, okay, maybe, but this is not the goal. The goal is bigger. Focus on the goal, not on these little things. If he's going with his friends to have dinner in some fancy place, and you believe like you're missing out, you're not missing out, because your goal is not to go have dinner. Your goal is to marry this man, not just to entertain him and his friends. Like, be smarter, think bigger and deeper. All right. And the last one is you need to work with your energy. I could not let it slide without the energy. I'm a Reiki master, you know this, and your energy defines your life. You can meet a billionaire, but if your energy doesn't match, you guys will never be even introduced. You might even pass each other on the street and you wouldn't even notice each other, you see? So your energy is important. Or you might be introduced to somebody. Like, if your energy for a moment is really high, you will be introduced and then it will fall down. Like me, every time before, when I used to live in New York, I would go, like in winter, I would go on a couple vacations because it's cold, and gray. So I would always go to somewhere to the Caribbean, to Mexico. And every time I would come back, I'm so energized. My energy is through the roof. And I would always meet somebody amazing. It's like I knew I need to go either on a cruise or into some kind of resort, spend there a week, and then I'm coming back and I would meet somebody. Always worked for me. But then after a month, when my energy is down back to nothing, or to my regular little, we start having problems, and then we just drift apart. So again, you need to work on your energy. You want to get a wealthy man, you can get a wealthy man. You will get a matchmaker, she will match you with somebody. Will you be able to stay in his life? That's a different question. That's why they say when people are from the same social circles, it's much easier for them to build a family, to stay together, because their energy is somewhat similar. But again, you're not going to give up just because you weren't born rich. Doesn't mean you could not marry rich. You can, but work on your energy. Energy is important. That I put over here. I have clients, they meet very wealthy men, 1-2 dates, and that's it. And because energy is weak. And that's true. I see it often. Just like I see, and they dissolve in man because for the same reason, because the energy is weak, So once they get this surge of energy from a man, the strength, this this kind of spending, they feel like, oh my God, they love themselves around them. I understand all this, but you could not. This is just not the way how it works. You need to work on your own energy, raising it little by little. Otherwise, man will get tired of you. You know, it's like you're a new shiny toy. So okay, he will play with you, and then leave you for something else. But this is not the goal. You need to be stay with him. You know, you need to become indispensable. You know, like very much needed. You know, like something that he could not live without, because not somebody that he's bored with, because she doesn't have no life, no excitement besides him. So energy is important. I would work on energy while while you're looking for that billionaire. I would work on energy and I would work strong, you know. And how to work on energy, I mean, you have a whole bunch of videos on that. You can come and do energy alignment with me. But again, energy alignment I will do for you, but you need to also know how to keep the energy levels up like this. You cannot just rely on me. I mean, I will do my job, but that's not enough, because if something will, something, if you allow a lot of unneeded information and energy into your aura, it will be very fast, very messed up. So again, work on your energy. Energy is important. Energy defines you, especially your aura. The size of your aura defines whether you will be able to be with a man like this or not. Even the women that I'm talking to you about, the women that are married to billionaires, they all have wide auras. They all. I'm talking about the healthy marriages, right? The ones that are in the two others that are in the gold cages, those are not. Those, their energies are weak, especially one of them. But the whole relationship is not healthy. So, but again, it fits them. So let them live their life. But the ones that are in healthy relationship, those women had strong energies from the start. I knew them personally. I always admired them. You know, you never admire somebody who's not stronger than you, and my energy is pretty strong. So I'm no, you never admire somebody who is weaker than you. So you always admire. If you admire somebody, then they're stronger than you. And they, as I said, those women were stronger than me, and my energy is pretty strong. So again, if you want to have a billionaire man, if you want to live that lifestyle, if you want to live in those circles, you need to match. Your energy has to match. This is just nothing to be done. If your parents were not able to give it to you from childhood, then you just need to do it yourself, and that's all. That's all I have to say. All right, that's it. I hope I inspired some of you. Again, it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to have a billionaire. Not everybody wants to be a socialite, whether you want it or not, but you will be on the spotlight. At least, you know, people will look out for you. Me personally, I never wanted this kind of life. It's not for me. So I never really was hoping to marry somebody super wealthy. It's not how much a person needs to be happy. I'm ambitious, but not to that point that I need to look around all the time. That, like, it's not. I don't like the spotlight. You know me. So again, this is for somebody who's really ambitious, who really knows what they want, and who are ready to maybe even change themselves a little bit to get to that point. Again, let's sum it up really fast. You need to be, if you want to have a king of the jungle, if you want to date a king of the jungle, you need to be in the jungle. So be where those men are. Don't be, don't go to Four Seasons to have coffee. You know, this is not. I would rather stay in Four Seasons for a couple, you know, for maybe a week, couple days. Yes, I know it's not the cheapest hotel, but look, you will meet those men. You know, just you will come and have coffee there. I mean, you will not even have the feel of that place, and you need to make sure that your energy matches. And yeah, the energetic that on his part. Yeah, that's true. And the next one. So you need to go somewhere, you know, but go somewhere that you are interested. Like I said, I can get myself a billionaire horse racer, one of those, you know, owners of the horses. But again, it's the farm life is not for me. I would need to be interested and to be in those circles, and it's not for me. I know I'm going to be miserable, so I'm not even going for that. I never, you know, and I was introduced to a couple of them. I don't know how wealthy they were, but they were very interested. It was happening the first couple of years I moved here to Miami. We used to go out all the time to all these restaurants, new restaurants around here. for us. They were new and we were meeting this man, but again, this is not my cup of tea. So, but you need to be involved in that field. So be somewhere over there. If you are not social at all, matchmaker is the way to go. As I'm telling you, make sure though this is the right matchmaker. Make sure they have good reviews, because I had a couple matchmakers reach out to me, but again, I wouldn't trust them for nothing, because you're reaching out to me, you're asking me to pay even before I have a consultation with you. Like, what kind of weird stuff is that? This just matchmakers who are good. They're good. They value their time. They value their reputation. They would never make you pay without first consulting with you. They will tell you truthfully what you can hope for, and they're usually expensive. I wouldn't lie. It's just but there is guarantee. They give guarantee. The second one is appearance is super important. Make sure nothing too flashy, nothing too loud. Remember, you're representing the lifestyle, his lifestyle. So you need to dress accordingly. If you are bright and shiny, you could be entertaining for a little bit, but that's it. But we are not here for a little bit. We're here to stay. So match it. A good way to go is basically something conservative. If you are conservative, if you know your manners, that's probably the safest way. Then you can kind of add a little bit here and there, but that would be probably the best. Nothing see-through, nothing too open, please. I mean, unless you're on the beach. All right. The third one is for a man who has everything. There's really nothing that can florals, yeah, especially for the summer in Hamptons. For a man who has everything, there is really nothing that could impress him, only something that he can lose. So you need to value yourself more than you value his lifestyle and him. You need to make sure about that. And if you think that he will value you more than you, never, it will never happen. To be among the sharks, you need to be a shark. And to be a shark, you need to be like really ready to fight for yourself and for anything you believe in. Then you need to be knowledgeable at least about something. Would be good if you have some kind of education, good education, so you look good on paper. I'm sorry. I know it all sounds so superficial, but it's life. If you want to have a billionaire, I have to be honest with you. If you want to have a millionaire, then you just need to be decent looking, and a little maid. That's it, really. There's not much. But the billionaire, you need to step up your game. Just how it is. So anyways, you have to be intelligent. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to be educated. You have to know your manners. You need to know how to eat, stuff like that. So now, and you need to know something about his life. So you could not be absolutely clueless about anything he does, So at least when he speaks to you, he needs to see that you have at least some kind of vague understanding, not just looking at him like bored, Then you need to make sure that you check him on money. So first of all, do not beg him for nothing. This is a huge turnoff. Again, those people are not used to people who don't have nothing. So when you are like really begging for something little like a bag, remember, for him it's nothing, and he's like, she's humiliating herself. Where is her self-value? She's humiliating herself for what? For a couple $1,000 bag? It doesn't look good. So again, don't beg. Make him compete with your inner man. But make sure if he doesn't spend, if he talks to you like he's doing you a favor while spending on you, leave him and don't look back, because you don't want to be stuck in a gold cage where you could not even lick the gold. You don't need that kind of relationship. You'll just waste your time. You'll see. You cannot change a man like that. Do not, under any circumstances, dissolve yourself in his life. Do not. You will use your identity. A man will lose interest in you. That's it. It always works like this, even with the poor man. It works with everybody. If my friends would not have identity, why would they talk to them? To do what? Like, to tell my story. I mean, like, why would I socialize, communicate with somebody who has no identity? Even dogs and cats have identity. Now, if somebody doesn't, what I'm going to do with that creature? So again, do not lose your identity. Remember, your life is beautiful as it is. Make it more beautiful, but do not depend on man. And obviously, work with your energy, because energy is where you're standing. Energy is what life you will have. Energy is what man you will date. Remember, this man is not the only one. What happens if he decide, or you will decide that he's not the one? What are you going to do? You still need to keep your energy to attract the other man. All right, that's it. If you have questions, ask. Where do I start when I need to fix my energy? With my videos, I have a lot of them. If you want, you can get my course. It will be under the videos. I don't think it's expensive. I think it's like $15-20. I think, I don't know. Work on that. Work on the first, second, fourth, and sixth chakras. These are feminine chakras. So you need to feel secure, and then you need to feel pleasure, love, and have a vision. You need to spend time horizontally. I have a lot of videos. If you want, write me under this video, and I will send you a couple of those. But a lot of videos under the tag of energy, they're all about about energy. But energy is, it's very important. All right, I think that's it. Let me scroll through TikTok very fast. On Tuesday, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. Remember, observe your thoughts, observe your emotions. A lunar eclipse is always about inside. Solar eclipse is outside. So when we have a solar eclipse, something happens outside. When we have lunar eclipse, something is inside, something is brewing, something is trying to show us. See what's showing you right now. It's important. Lunar eclipse influences everybody, especially this lunar eclipse influences Pisces, Virgos, Sagittarius, and Geminis. These are important. This is important lunar eclipse for them. So observe. If you have any of these placements, then observe what is coming out. But it will influence everybody. And write it down, because in a couple of days you will forget about that pain that comes out. And but that pain needs to be fixed in the next until next lunar eclipse. So do that and stay sane. Don't allow the fear, anxiety to spoil your days. Remember, it's lunar eclipse. It's always big, always exaggerated. If you have fear about something, when it's first of all it's full moon, and then it's lunar eclipse. So when there is so much energy and it's so saturated, it becomes bigger. So you are afraid of water. Now you are like, you have panic when you see water, you see, but you tell yourself it's only because of the lunar eclipse. It will, it will come down. Everything will be, will be good. But remember that if it came out that your fear of water is becoming so big during the lunar eclipse, then you need to fix it. You need to do something about it. So, for example, maybe you have a friend, and you and a friend already, but there is no connection. You guys fighting all the time. And you're always thinking about, maybe I should kind of give it a break to a friend or something. And then during the lunar eclipse, you're starting almost like hating her more and more. Then maybe it's time to do something about it. Maybe it's time to take that break, or maybe to bring the relationship to a new level. So observe yourself. Don't do any kind of harsh actions. And yeah, and that's it. All right, that's all. Let's go enjoy our Sunday. By TikTok. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next Sunday at 11. YouTube, thank you very much also for being here. If there are any topics that you want to discuss, like this one, I would never probably made something like this. You see, because this topic is very for a very closed niche. Not everybody wants this. From all my clients that I had, there were only few girls. Yeah, there were some who wanted to be gold diggers, but there were only few who wanted to marry somebody like that, marry billionaire, maybe marry somebody famous, influential. And I'm not talking about some kind of DJ wannabe. I'm talking about somebody who has companies, who has money, who is, Elon Musk type of man. So I only had 3, so it's not for everybody. Obviously, I mean, you can get some useful information, but it's not for everybody. Like it's definitely not for me. Um, but maybe you have some particular topics that you would want to discuss. We can do that. Let me know, and I will see. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next Sunday at 11. Bye.